SHMAC, that I'm serious about this, that I'm in it for the long haul, or at least as long as she'll have me. Oh my gosh. Ali Hazelwood did it again for me. Sometime last year, I picked up the book, The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. At the time, hilariously enough, I hadn't really been reading in a while. As I keep talking about in all my videos, I have a toddler who's just absolutely adorable, but I hadn't really been able to read as much in the last few years. So now that she's older, I'm trying to get back in the habit of reading and reading actual physical books versus Kindle books, because I don't want her to see that I'm just on my phone all the time. She can't tell I'm reading a book on my phone. She just knows mommy's on her phone. So I've gotten back to picking up paperback books so she can see that mommy's reading. And it actually, in my opinion, works. Monkey see, monkey do. When mommy wants to read, baby wants to grab her book too. So I picked up this book. I actually never heard of it. I'd never heard of the author. I literally picked it up at the grocery store, just hoping for a good read. Holy crap though, effing loved it. Definitely has that sciencey feel to it, with more of academia and being a scientist, but had one of my favorite tropes ever in it, which is when they're pretending to be in a relationship, even though they're not actually in a relationship, and end up catching feelings along the way. I love that trope. I'm sorry, for me, it never gets old. That is entertaining as heck. So naturally, after reading it and falling in love with it, and my jaw hitting the ground for like the one love scene in it, that was quite graphic, but in a really good way. I mean, I'm not really into the smutty book, so I did appreciate that there was only one real love scene in the whole book, though it was pretty smutty. I loved it. Super good read. If you are looking for a nice contemporary romance with some really good layered B-story stuff going on, holy crap. And of course, my favorite trope, definitely pick it up. So naturally, when I was looking for another good read and I saw other Ali Hazelwood books, of course I had to buy another one. Now, the one I really want, unfortunately, is not in paperback form yet, so that is on my wish list, still on Amazon. So instead, what I picked up was Love on the Brain by the same author, Ali Hazelwood. And I finally just finished it like yesterday morning. What can I say about this book? So first off, what I will say is, once again, as in Ali Hazelwood fashion, it is having to do with science and academia a little bit. One's an engineer, one is a brain scientist. Forgive me, I forgot what her actual title is. Neurologist, I guess. But for this one, you can't really call it an enemies to lovers kind of story, because the main character thinks they're enemies, but that's not the version for the guy in it. That's not how he sees them, which you will discover as you read it. But it's definitely one of those things where it is one of those books that just has a very small misunderstanding, and the story is going to go on with that for a while. So if you're that person who's like, oh God, not this trope. Oh, the stupid misunderstanding, the whole misunderstanding that they just knew that this would be a whole nother story. Yes, it does have that in it, but it doesn't last as long as you think it's going to. Ali Hazelwood had mercy on us, and even though she introduced that annoyance, she did not keep it running for long. So I must thank her for that. Same thing though, I will say it had really good writing, really good B story, really good love story. The love scenes in this book though were more than in the Love Hypothesis, and just a little bit more dirty. I was not complaining, but it was just amazing as usual. Like, I really am becoming like a full-blown fan of Ali Hazelwood. Like, she is just hitting these out the park. They give you so many feels and so many giggles through the whole daggone book that I'm just like, this is awesome. So I know my last book talks that I have on here were probably not the best reviews. But these two books that you're probably seeing all over Book Talk and YouTube are totally worth the read, especially if you like contemporary romance, especially if you're working on writing one of these type of tropes and maybe you need some tips or trying to get ideas of how other authors write it. Super good. Either way, definitely, probably one of my favorite books I've read this year. I have one other book that will probably fight for the number one ranking spot this year so far, which I will talk about in another video. But definitely love both these books, would recommend them to anybody. I will definitely put links in the description box below, so if you want to check them out, definitely get them, as well as some of the other books in her set, because you better believe soon as I finished, Miss Tracy was on Amazon already adding the rest of the books to my cart, because is there anything this woman can't write? Nope.